Hey synthheads, today we're going to talk about depression and its connection with synthesizers. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all of my synth adventures. So depression comes in many forms, and believe it or not, there are a lot of synth heads that get depressed and is directly connected to synthesizers. Now, some of you watching this video might be asking yourself, how in the world could a synth head get depressed because of their synthesizers? Well, I'm going to be speaking for myself in this video and how depression comes about for me and its connection to synthesizers. First and foremost, I have a lot of gear. And did you know that when you have a lot of gear, whether it's synthesizers, guitars, or any other kind of music gear or anything, you can become overwhelmed, even if you need all of that gear to perform the music that you need to get performed. You can still get overwhelmed. Sometimes when we have too many choices, we stop everything and we don't do anything at all with the gear in front of us. Too much gear can give us too many choices and can overwhelm us, and that overwhelming feeling can lead to depression. However, I have talked with people who don't have enough gear. They don't have enough synthesizers, and they feel, I guess, underwhelmed. They feel as if they can't get done what they're dreaming about to do. They look at other synthesizer owners and they envy them. They can even become jealous of other synthesizer owners because of the gear they have. Jealousy creeps in, and that can lead to depression. In my case, I do have a lot of gear, a lot of synthesizers, and I also have to get projects done professionally to earn money, and I have deadlines and I have goals that I have to meet, that I have to set for myself, the goals that I want to reach. And sometimes I look at my progress and I feel that I'm not going fast enough. And one of the reasons why I do these vlogs is because it helps me work through some of the issues that I have with synthesizers and daily life with them. And I hope that it helps all of you as well. Now, I'm talking about depression as it relates to synthesizers, whether you have too much or too little, or you don't have enough time with your synthesizers, or perhaps your synthesizers are taking time away from those you love and who love you. That can make you feel guilty if you spend too much time with your synthesizers. I knew a friend who was into guitars, and his wife said, "You love that guitar more than you do me." Back when I was younger, I had a girlfriend who said, "I wish you would put your hands on me as much as you do that guitar." You know, and that always made me feel bad. I was always questioning whether or not I was spending too much time on my instrument. But then, you know, let's step out of this synthesizer realm for just a moment and talk about depression in general. A couple of videos back, I talked about a friend of mine who sparked my interest in synthesizers. He suffered from a great deal of depression, and he hid it very well for many years. And he ended up committing suicide. Depression is a very serious thing, and it shouldn't be something that a person is ashamed of. It should not be a topic that people are afraid to talk about. Depression can lead to health problems. It can lead to emotional problems. It can lead to bad choices in life. Depression can own a person, and it's to be taken very seriously. And some of the ways that I deal with depression that I have, because I think everybody experiences depression okay? Some more than others. My depression is usually brought on by the overwhelming amount of synthesizers that I have to choose from and the limited time that I have to utilize, okay, the synthesizers that I own. And what I have to do is I have to remind myself every day to pick out 1 or 2 or 3 synthesizers that I'm going to work with that day. And then tomorrow I try to add a different synthesizer to the palette that I'm working from. If I can. I can't always do that because of the projects that I'm working on. But when I can, I certainly do so. The other thing I do is I try to get work out of the way first and foremost. I get up in the morning, I have a routine. My routine is I have a high protein breakfast. That always helps. I have a lot of fluids with my breakfast because I like to hydrate myself after a night's sleep. I also go and check my emails and my other vital statistics and things that I need to check online. I do all of that as well. Then I sit down and I start to work on what I have to get done. That's the important thing, is to get work out of the way. For me, if I don't do that, I wind up thinking about what I have to get done for the rest of the day, and I don't feel that I can be rewarded without being able to get my work done. So if I do get my work done for the day, if I do achieve my goal for the day, I feel more relaxed and I can get into the studio and I can be more creative with other projects, and I can play much easier. I can just mess around and relax in the studio. And I love synthesizers. They are my hobby, okay, but they are my bread and butter in many aspects. And, you know, when you marry the two, there can be a conflict of interest, because on one half, you have to get projects done. On the other half, you still want to enjoy what you love. Not everybody who has a synth studio gets their bread and butter from them. That too can cause depression. I've talked to many people who ask, how do you make money with your synthesizers? You know, that's not an easy answer, because I'm not you and you're not me. You have to find your own way. You have to find your own way in this life. And unfortunately, no one can bring you there but yourself. And I think that's very important to remember, is that you're in this with everyone else, and there are people that will support you along the way. Find those people, because they don't go looking for you. Not in most cases, okay? Not in most cases. People don't go find you to support you. You have to find those who are going to support you. And when you find people who support you, that's when you stick close to those people who support your dreams, who support your ambitions. But for the most part, dealing with depression is an everyday battle for most people. And I would, you know, tell those who suffer from a great deal of it that you need to seek help when you get to a certain point. This obviously isn't necessary for the average person who experiences normal depression. But for those who are waking up and they're feeling like there's no more use in life, and there's no more joy in life, and that it's just another day, it's time to start looking for professional help before it gets even worse. And if you're watching this and you're suffering from depression and you're saying to yourself, it can't get any worse than this, you know, I've known people who have said that, and yeah, it can get worse if you don't deal with it. It can, because I've seen it with other people. I lost a step-granddaughter to suicide. She was extremely depressed, and she hid it for a long time. And it wasn't until the last year of her life that she started letting people know just how depressed she was. And I honestly believe at that point, there was a point of no return reached for her, she didn't get the help that she needed quick enough, early enough. Obviously, she didn't, because she ended up shutting herself down and shutting herself out. That's what depression does. It brings you to a point to where you cut yourself off from people, where you cut yourself off from the things that you love. And that's why when I talk to people who are into synthesizers or any hobby, one of the first things that they're affected by is their hobby. They go into their studio and they're no longer filled with joy and excitement to get started with the day, but rather they're filled with dread or a feeling of being overwhelmed. Look around in your studio and ask yourself, as you look slowly, is there anything in there that is causing you anxiety? Is the studio too dark? Is it too well lit? Is the studio cramped? Is the studio messy? Is the studio disorganized? And some people like disorganization, by the way, okay? And some people like order. So just kind of look around your studio and do it slowly. Just kind of look around and ask yourself, is there something in the studio that's affecting you negatively, and what can you do about it? And then, you know what? If this doesn't pertain to you and you're watching this because the word depression was a keyword that you used in your search and you're listening to this, I would say look around in your life and see what's depressing you there. Some people might say it's other people, okay? I'm not saying that people can't depress you, because they absolutely can, all right? But anyway, look around in your life in general and see what or who is depressing you, and deal with those matters in a concise way. And maybe life will get better for you once you start looking towards life in a different angle, in a different lens, and at a different angle. But that's what I want to share with you guys here today. I want to thank you for listening to my ramblings on this channel. And if you haven't done so, I would ask that you would subscribe so that I could be encouraged to keep doing this. I obviously don't want to be talking to myself, but I know I'm not. I'm talking to all of you. And it's a beautiful evening out here today in my backyard, and I'm enjoying it. And this is one of the ways that I also battle depression, okay? So, till next time, keep calm and synth on.